네, 여러분 오랜 시간 기다려주셔서
So thank you
감사합니다.
for your
이번
patience.
세션
And now we are going to have the exciting session. And I believe many of you are excited. That's why many are here. So passion, passion, passion. Psick University session will begin. So 2.3 million subscribers, and that is a number for Psick University. Do you know that? So the class of 5 is back, and Hansarang, the Viking club, those bouquet character has been generated. So let's invite Mr. Kim Min-sik. So he is going to share the know-how to create the contents in your way. So in order to call him up to the stage, we need to shout the slogan. So when I count 1, 2, 3, please say passion, passion, passion. 1, 2, 3. So let's invite Mr. Kim Min-soo up to the stage. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
반갑습니다.
It's very nice to meet you.
감사합니다.
Well, thank you for welcoming me.
이런 자리가 되게 익숙하지가 않아요.
So I'm not quite used to this kind of occasion. I'm a bit awkward.
여러분께서 좀 궁금하신
So I believe there are many things you want to know. So you have a great curiosity indeed. So there are many the creators here, and there are people who want to get inspiration from me. So I'm going to focus on that aspects in my lecture.
네, 감사합니다.
Well, thank you.
예, 감사합니다. 제 전에 누가 나왔었나요?
So before me, who was the speaker?
직방 대표님이요.
The CEO of Chickbang.
눈이 그렇게 좋지는 않네요.
So actually, he is not quite a lucky person. Maybe I'm not the lucky person, so he is not the he is a difficult person to follow. I'm YouTuber. So for the last 5 years, I have been shooting YouTube contents, and well, not many channels actually experience great changes like our YouTube channel.
유형별 콘텐츠라고 해서
So at the beginning, and we provided some new types of episode. So we featured university students, and also we presented the camera, the contents, and also we copied the voice of other famous actors. So you know this, right? So you featured those episodes originally, and now we are featuring the class 05 is back, and the class 05 is here, and the Hansarang hiking club, and also non-contact date, and those are a few the episode we presented, and the Psick show is one of the example, and the Daily Korean is a new the episode we present. So we tried many other episodes. Do you want to make a phone call now? Well, I presented that one, but that went into the failure. But anyhow, we made a great the trials over and over again. So today, I'd like to introduce the background of the making some popular contents. So when we create YouTube contents, what is the most important thing is to deliver contents which cannot be seen on the broadcasting channels and OTT. And we want to deliver the contents that only available on YouTube channels. And the TV channels has the quite a sound financial the ground, but YouTube is focused on the idea itself. So we want to deliver unique and unprecedented contents. So class 01 is back. We shooted this with a mobile phone and also non-contact date, and that was shoot by mobile phone. And the Psick show is quite different from the other contents because the production, the cost is nearly nothing. So sometimes we should pay money to rent the space, but otherwise there is no additional cost. So when we look back the YouTube contents,
저희가 맨 처음에는 대학교 유형별
So
콘텐츠를
we
했었어요.
focus on the contents by different university.
팀원들의 좀 나이를 좀 말씀을
So
드리자면은
the age of
제가
our team
92년생이고
members is
같은 나이로 31살.
I'm 31 years old.
헷갈리네요. 그 전 나이로 이제 33살인데
So previously the Korean age was 33 and well my brother Yongju was born in the 86 year in the
나이가
1986.
저는 20대 후반이었고
I was in the later 20s and other brothers and they already graduated all the time. So they actually complained. Well, actually, about 10 years ago, I graduated from university, so I cannot remember my university days. But I forced them to remember their time at university, and we created the contents.
얘기를 한번 해보고
So, well, one of the member
굉장히
was the class of 5, so he wanted to deliver the story, so I did not agree with that. So when I create YouTube contents, and I believe it is important to present the hot and the trendy the contents. But class of 5 is quite old, so I did not want to present that. But Youngju, he want to deliver his the contents, his story. That's why we started class of 5 Izback. Well, initially the response was not very good. So initially we want you to class of 5 Izback.
땡과 좀 걸려 있다.
So the class of 5 is the population and the generation ladder who like the Big Bang, but we want you to deliver the time before that. So season 1 was about class 08, and after that we delivered the story about class 08, 05 ladder.
맨 처음부터 잘 되진 않았어요.
So we did not have a great response at the beginning.
콘텐츠를 하면서
But when we do these contents, and there were some people who dropped by, and as I said, we started with the class 08, and the hidden camera contents were presented. So the 풍계, the camera, the episode that was presented. So there were increasing number of the viewers, and there were high number of recommendations. So the Yongju actually asked to
빨리 올려주세요.
post relevant the episode. So we presented class 05 Izback. That was the start. So the brother Yongju, he was the main character. He wanted to deliver his own story. He said that he knows about the class 05 because he was at university there. So that's why we had a success because we delivered our story. But before I moved to the Hansarang, the hiking club, and I want to more talk about the class 05. And we delivered our story about class 05 for more than 2 years. So we had a happy time while making these contents. And also, well, the laughing point was actually shared. But after 2 years, we were kind of sick of those contents. So we want to have a turning point. So, and we present the class 05 is here. So the Seojun mom and she always talk about the surprising things. So, well, that was quite popular. So we get the inspiration from the Marvel. So Multiverse was introduced in Marvel. That was the point of inspirations. So in the new city, in newly created city, there are some the old the men's, and well, they used to be university students in the year 2005, but now they becomes the middle-aged men. So we want you to deliver their story, and we received a great response. And the next one is a Hansarang hiking club, which received a great love from audience. So we started this contest in the following way. So the class 05 is back, and I edited that one. So by mistake, and I actually jump in some the contents. For example, wow, that is old. So that is a Mickey Mouse. The MP3 that is old. That was the main line I deliver. But by mistake, I did not jump in. So when I watched the contents, and I thought that is kind of a sitcom, the comedy. So I want you to produce such a sitcom-like contents. So the brother Jae Hyung's close friend is Lee Chang-ho. So Lee Chang-ho is well known for the old man, the character.
하신 분이라서
So he
창호형에게 아저씨
actually
캐릭터로
in
다른
this
캐릭터가
comedian
로이가
world for more than 10 years. So he is very good at acting as an old man, so we invited him.
창호형이랑 함께
So together with the
영화를
brother Chang-ho, we want you to make good contents. So we contemplated what kind of contents we should deliver. So we created this content 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I was so addicted to social media.
당시에 등산이라는 키워드가
So back then, the hiking, that was quite the popular keyword. So there was a rumor that the Cheonjian will go to the Maebong Mountain. So people go to the Maebong Mountain to see Cheonjihyun. So, well, the hiking was recognized as the kind of a hip and a trendy the hobby. So you can see the number of viewers is more than 1.9 million. So back then I chose the keyword, the hiking. So with the one single camcorder, we went into the mountain. So these days there are many contents about the mountain, but back then that was rare. So it is quite difficult and challenging to hike a mountain. So there are many the people who are involved in the productions. And as for the OTT, there are cameramans and the people who do the lightings and audios. But because we are YouTubers, so we only carried the camcorder. So one cameraman and four the main the characters. So all 5 went up to the mountain. So audio quality was poor like this. So the Gwangyong, so you can hear this kind of sound, but the sound quality is poor. So while to the ear of the professionals, and they will heavily criticize this audio quality. But because we are YouTuber, because this is a YouTube content that was well delivered and people enjoy the content still.
네, 다음은 비대면 데이트.
So this is a non-contact date.
최준이라는
So the character Chejun appeared here, even though some of you do not know about that. So about 3 years ago, this content was produced.
저희가 이제 한상사랑까지 좀
So Hansarang Hiking Club received popularity, and after that, we contemplated what will be done next. So we want to reflect that time.
TV나 OTT
So TV and OTT and the soap operas, when we see that, that was actually 3 years ago. All the people were wearing face masks, and also the social networking was restricted because of a pandemic. But when you see the TV programs, people were not wearing the face mask, so we want to translate that in different way.
되게
When you see the soap opera, the people who have a financial struggle wear the different clothes every day. That is not realistic. So we want to make a real contents. That's why we created non-contact date.
하기 전에 그 전에
So we look into the changes and social phenomena. And as I said, the character Chejun was featured here. So that was a wonderful character indeed, and we want to reflect his character wonderfully. So we look into the social trend.
이제 비대면 상황
So non-contact situation was common at the time of a pandemic. So what was the way of doing blind date at the time of a pandemic? We thought about that. So you can think about all these the different and the keywords. So these are the well, actually, these are the big red blind date men and the hipsters and multi-level marketings, and all these are the keywords we focus on.
트리샵 좋았던 생각인데
So
저희가
how we can deliver this contents, we thought about that. So we are creators and we focus on two following things. And first one is it is important to understand the actual the meaning. So the comedy that should be delivered well. The sense of comedy and sense of humor should be delivered well. So there are many things people often forget easily. So, like decopying the voice of the part-time worker in Starbucks. So many people go to Starbucks, but do you remember how the part-time the workers call the customers and the numbers? So not many people remember that one, but we catch that one and we deliver that one as a comedy. So that was one inspiration we had. So how to deliver that one? We thought about that. So we actually deliver this contents in great manner because in the vertical way we created the contents.
I got inspired by Zoom meetings. So it's like a video call on your mobile phone. You can watch this content. So we put the content in a vertical manner. So YouTube content is affected by technologies a lot. And also we are technologically inspired a lot when we create YouTube content. Because we have a YouTube technology, we were able to produce YouTube content. And also there's a video call technology. We were able to create this content you just saw on the slide. At the beginning, we paid attention to universe, and there's a show called Psick Universe. And those class of 2005 are becoming fathers. So it's a continuity of shows, just like Marvel series. Maybe I cannot compare our shows to Marvels. So many people asked us how you could create such a creative show like Psick Universe. At the beginning, we didn't have a big passion like let's make a Marvel-like Psick Universe series. It was just a coincidence. So in the Sanak hiking club, if the members of that show are the older versions of the class of 2005, we thought would be so fun. So we created a content that feature people that are actually a family, like son and father. So it was really fun and it was really sensationally popular. These are the members of Hansarang hiking club. So in the class of 2005, I really play my true character. So all these characters were created by our fans. So I didn't expect this much, but thankfully our fans gave us nicknames like this, and that actually inspired us too. So Panyuni character was also inspired by the, people's proposals in the contents. They said Panyuni can be Taekja's daughter in the Hansarang mountain climbing club. So it was so much fun. So Psick show is nowadays featuring top stars.
너무 관심을 많이
So many top stars are showing much interest in our show. Movie star Son Seok-gu, football star Son Heung-min, they appeared in our show.
보통 이 시청자들은 정말 결과물만
Usually,
보기 때문에
viewers are only see the final
진짜 천재다.
production that we produced.
라고 말씀하시는데
So they say we are really genius for producing and creating this content, but actually we are not genius.
그게 뭐였냐면은
But I think we
맨 처음 시작을
pay attention to some little idea and we build on that idea.
코리아에서 어떤 걸 제안했냐면
YouTube Korea made a proposal to us.
세계 팬분들을
YouTube Korea
저희 한국에 있는 유튜버들 좀
wanted to introduce Korean YouTubers to global audiences. The program was a Pan Fest. So they asked us to provide one piece of content
비대면데이트 캐릭터로 할까?
for their service.
좀 하다가
So we were
어차피
just thinking hard. So what do we need to create? So if their target is the foreign audience, they wouldn't understand our existing shows.
우리 탑스타인 척을 한번
So we decided to pretend to be super popular top stars in Korea.
분들은 야, 저 사람 유명한데
So foreigners, they love Korean idols or pop stars, but they don't know us. So we wanted to pretend to be one of those top stars in Korea. So we started Into Be series.
좀 힘든 컨텐츠였어요.
But it was kind of hard to continue the series. It was a short-term
지금까지
content.
잘 컨텐츠를 보면 다 연속성이 있는 컨텐츠거든요.
But our successful contents are typically continuous ones.
뉴스로서 인터뷰하는 컨텐츠는 연장이 좀 힘들 것 같아요.
So we thought the interview format cannot be sustainable.
팟캐스트가 정말 유명해요.
So we looked at foreign cases. In foreign countries, there was a podcast. So we decided to benchmark that. So we created Psick podcast. But it wasn't well received by viewers. Back then, people were talking about alt ego or alternate characters. Why don't you just continue to play your alternate characters? That was their reaction.
유튜브에서는 팟캐스트를 즐겨 듣진 않더라고요.
So on YouTube, our fans didn't enjoy our podcast show. So it only stopped at one episode.
저희 제작 방식 중에 하나는
So the way we create content on YouTube is that for OTT services, you create contents in advance, but we rarely do that. So if it is early, so we just create a content 2 weeks before the release. So we create one episode, and if that episode is not received well, then we just suspend it. We had a Nara quiz show, and we decided not to continue it if it's not popular. But it was popular, so we are continuing it. There was another type of show you might not understand. You might not know that because its first episode wasn't popular at all, so we don't continue the creation of the content. I think it's a strength and advantage of YouTube. We can just try many different types of content, and if it's not popular, we can just stop it.
제가 우연찮게
So
팟캐스트를 다시 딱 보는데
I just happened to watch our Psick podcast one more time, and I really enjoyed it. Why it was really enjoyable? Because their laughing or laughter point was different. In our previous shows, the points that made really people laugh were something that people can relate to while they're watching our Hansarang hiking club show. They just think of their funny dads. That made them laugh. But in the podcast, there was really crazy character. So we wanted to change the podcast into our own content. So we deleted podcast in the name of the show. So we changed the name to reveal our character. So the biggest success point was the featuring of RM, who is a member of BTS. So we are really enjoying creating the Psick show. You might understand what I'm saying if you watched our show. What we are open saying is, let's do something we can enjoy. Let's do something that make us laugh. So analytical skills or logics are not necessary here. It's just your gut feelings, or it's just your instinct. So what makes you laugh is something that is really fun. So we are pursuing to create a content that is just fun to watch. So this is it for my presentation. And now I'd like to open a Q&A session. If you have questions, you can ask questions. But just in case you don't have questions, I already prepared potential questions here. So I do have questions for myself, just in case you don't have any questions for me. While watching our content, listening to my presentation, if you have any questions, please go ahead. Do you have a mic? Can you hand over a mic to the person? Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Kim Ho-lee, reporter from Aju Economic Daily. I really enjoy your shows, and I even brought your book here. So we have a book. We published a book. I'm not here to promote my book. Thank you very much for purchasing our book. My question is, when people create content, people say you need to focus on one type of subject. But it seems like Psick University is exploring many different subjects and many different formats. And they were really successful. What was the key to your success? I want to interview you in the future. Yes, that's correct. When we first started out, we were kind of different. When I watch successful YouTubers, they continue the successful content for years. They made similar content on similar topic for years. But we kept exploring new type of content. As we produce new content, we were able to attract new viewers and fans. And also we could diversify and expand generations of viewers. And our Psick show is in English, so even teenagers and people in their 40s and 30s, they're watching this show just to learn English as well. So it is our survivor strategy. We want to create a variety of shows to attract many different types of viewers and more viewers. Thank you. Hopefully I addressed your question. And there? Thank you. Not as characters. In your reality, what type of personalities do you have, and what kind of conversations do you have on what topics? Thank you very much for taking interest in my daily life. Nobody's interested in us in that regard. We try to increase the working hours as much as possible. From noon to 10 or 11 p.m., we are trying to work together. So normally we work on Mondays a lot. Over the weekend, we have watched some content or shows, or if they started new relationships, I shouldn't have said this. Then over the weekend, they were inspired by something. Then we discussed that on Monday. Recently, one of the most popular shows is I Am Solo. It's really enjoyable. Please watch it. It is not just a dating show. It is a documentary, I
저희도
think.
지금 굉장히 주변에서 많이 바쁘시죠, 바쁘시죠
So
하는
many
말
people
많이
say you
들었는데요.
must be really
사실 생각보다
busy,
바쁘진 않은 게
but actually we are not
저희
as busy
주말에는
as you
확실히
think
쉬어요.
because on weekends we make sure to
일상을 좀
rest
살아야
because
좀
we
오래
need
할
to
수
be
있다고 생각해서
grounded in
저
reality.
같은
That way
경우도
we can go
가만히
long.
있으면 영감이 떠오르진 않더라고요.
If
그래서
you just
최대한
stand
많이
still,
노출되려고 하고
you won't
있어요.
be inspired much.
서점에
So
가도
I try to expose
괜찮으니까
myself to all kinds of
많이 노출되려고
contents. For example,
노력을 하고
bookstores, plays, and theaters,
네.
or movies.
앞에 거
Thank you.
던지셔가지고 네. 네.
So I'm dreaming of a YouTube director, and you said you are editing by yourself. So do you still do editing by yourself? Is there any reason you are doing by yourself? And if you hire the editor, what is the reason behind that?
지금은 저희가 피식쇼 같은 경우는
So as for the Psick show,
거의 손대지 않고 있어요.
so I do not do any editing.
또 이게 맨 처음에 편집을
So initially I did editing,
편집을
but
남에게
well,
넘기려면
if I hand over editing work to others and I cannot actually bear with that because that is so precious. So, well, depending on and how to organize the contents, that sometimes and we can have a great laugh, and sometimes we miss a laughing point. So this can be compared to the archery. So it is important to give tension at certain point and release tension sometimes. But some editors cannot do good tension management. In other words, some people cannot do good the laughing point management. But these days, I meet some directors who are doing wonderful job regarding editing. So after meeting them, and I'm not doing the editing work anymore.
맨 처음에 못 놓고 있다가
So initially, I could not hand over this work, but Brother Youngju said, and anyhow, we should focus on new contents. We should focus on most of energies in order to develop contents. So even though you are not so satisfied with editing, we should just leave that one to other professionals, and we should focus on developing new contents. So after editing, we watch that contents together, and if there are any things to be corrected, we do it together. But anyhow, most fun thing is the editing.
있는 영상물을 가지고
So we are creators with the contents, and just like a God, and I can actually making many the different trials. So I want to do editing in the future. Well, thank you for the lecture. So actually, this is related to the earlier question. So in the Baeksang award, and you received quite an excellent award indeed. So when you invite a guest and you actually develop the question, I believe all the questions you raise are quite interesting. So the questions and answers you do with invited celebrities, that is quite unique. How do you develop such questions? And sometimes you ask question in English, so all the translation work is quite crucial indeed. And also the PDs who are doing the translation work is increasing. So how do you manage this?
유튜브기 때문에
So let me explain how to develop these contents. So this is a YouTube contents, and we want to ask very the personal questions, which cannot be asked in public channel. So the comedian Yoo Jae-suk, when he was invited, we asked quite the unusual question: what kind of the car you have, and how big is your house? Those are not common questions.
식대알이 보이는 거는
But
설명드리지만
we raise those questions. So, well, you might see three people only on Psick University, but there are 3 to 5 different directors, and there are creative managers as well. So those are kind of the writers. So we have 3 or 4 writers. So we have a great team. When we have a meeting, more than 10 people gather together in order to develop ideas and translate those ideas into programs. So there are no hierarchies between these team members. We can say anything.
아이디어가
If the idea is not very good, well, we can have further discussions in order to develop those ideas. So everyone is equal in our team. So anyone can say whatever they want. That is a quite important culture. And also, I study English very well, but I'm not native speaker. So there are people who translate our contents.
완전히 짜여진
So we
완전히는 아니지만
well
90% 짜여진
develop the contents and the questions and answers, and those are pre-designed. About 80% and 90% of the questions and answers are pre-designed. And of course, and the 10% or 20% that they can be done at the spot. But well, basically, we have some kind of well-established the contents plans
자막들
and subscriptions and translations, and for that we receive support. So you might see only 3 people, but we receive great support behind the scene. Does it answer to your question?
안녕하세요.
So hello.
피식대학의 애청자들입니다.
So I'm fan of Psick University, as you mentioned. So the fundamental of Psick University is a new trial that can be only done on YouTube channel. So that was a starting point, and now the YouTube, the market gets bigger. So, well, there are great the requests to invite you to OTT and also broadcasting channels. Do you have any plan to advance to those channels? If not, can you explain why? So the OTT, well, including Netflix, is there any plan to advance into those channels? That is one of the frequently received questions.
그게 어떤 거냐면
But we have a kind of because
가장 우선이기 때문에
content is almost important to us.
뭐 어디 OTT에
So, well, we can go to OTT, but
자본이 좀 필요한 그런
well,
환경이 필요하다 그러면
if we need some financial support in order to produce the contents we want, then in that case we can go to OTT, because OTT can handle that and OTT can provide financial support. So we can have a collaboration with the OTT. So Netflix can be one example, and the producers on the Netflix, and if they can invite us equally, then we are willing to work with them. Does it answer to your question?
아까 이쪽을 너무 본것 같아서
So how about this side? Any questions from this side?
아까 그 이제
So previously, when you produce your contents and you evaluate how that are well they received, do you have any index? Well, or is it based on your gut feeling? Is there any criteria to say, well, this content is successful or this content is not successful? Is there any written and clear-cut criteria?
생활을 하거든요.
And this is a team-based work. So three of us and the producers and others behind the scene, and we move like a one single person. It seems that all our brains are connected. So we feel the same. So when we present and launch contents, and well, how well it was received regarding that, we have the same feeling. We do not only rely on numbers. We do not only rely on the number of viewers. So if we post two different contents, the first one has a higher viewer and the second one is a smaller viewer, and that is not the normal. Actually, the popular ones receive a higher number of viewers for the second contents. So that can be one barometer. And as for some contents, as we develop the story and we have the more fun things, and as for other contents, as time goes, we do not have any brilliant idea. In that case, we can stop that contents rather. And we can feel that actually that is a gut feeling. So rather than there is a criteria. So let's say the viewer is a 1 million, but suddenly it drops to 100,000. And well, that is number, but that is not only criteria. Anyhow, based on gut feeling, we can say this one will be good, the other one will be bad. So we decided. So hello. So I'm the old fan of Psick. The university, there are many short form the contents, but Psick University, that is quite a long contents, and you have a certain level of completeness. So the viewers love that because that is quite a high quality contents with a certain length. So is there any reason you have such the long the contents rather than short form? So we did not intend that one. So some contents are short and some contents are longer than that, but there is no intention. It all depends on contents. Some contents will be better to be produced in short form. So as for Psick University, actually the contents was less than 10 minutes, but as we develop the story, we decide that this is the contents which can be better viewed when we have a longer the contents. So we do not decide that in advance. It's all depending on characteristics of the contents. And as for films, it should meet at the 80-minute learning time. But, and I believe 20-minute and 30-minute contents can be filmed. So the length doesn't matter to us. As for the short form contents, and we also make effort in order to deliver short form contents. So long length films, the contents can be shortened in order to produce short form contents sometimes. So please leave a microphone. There is a question over there. So this, please. So there are many questions. I did not expect many questions. Thank you so much. So you are American style. So from the high school time, I love this contents. It's my great honor to meet you here. So Hansarang Hiking Club and the Seojun Mom character, I love that one. And I thought that is not acting, that is a real. So that's what I thought. So there is a no cut. Well, it seems that all these contents just filmed in one shooting. So all the conversation is designed, or that conversation and the comment, and those are spontaneously done. So Seojun Mom is the woman who is not married. How she can act like that is does she actually observe that kind of the person in real life? How she can deliver such a real character? So when we develop the character, and we think of various things. See, actors, they practice voice acting first. So when it comes to the comedians, the first thing we learn is what is our laughing point. That's what we learn first. So the Miju, the Oroshi, So the punchline actually, that is a lapping point. So in order to create a lapping point, there are some the basic things. So those are the elements we learn first when we enter the world of a comedian. So when we write down script, we write the lapping point first. Sometimes spontaneously we can and give and back some the comment and the conversations. But in order to go longer, for example, for 2 years and 3 years, some plan and some design should be done. So lapping point is decided first in advance, and also when we do the productions, and we consider many things. So in filming scene, so actors they have a great freedom. So they can do anything they want. So well, when we make this contents and we just do whatever we can do. So we are close friends. So and we can do all these the welcome and spontaneously. So there are some basic lines and basic design, but and spontaneously we give the comments. So rather than we just the within the written the frame, and we can well just deliver the conversations on spot, and also observation that is important. So personally, so inspiration and that is crucial. So sometimes some idea comes up to my mind out of a sudden. So for example, I went to other new city and think about the contents. If I just well plan certain schedule to think about idea, I cannot come up with a new idea. So new and brilliant idea just comes up in our daily lives. So, well, rather than I allocate a certain time to develop idea, I just witness some people and some environments to get inspirations. So Sejong mom is the one of the example. So Sejong moms and the friends are all married, so she could actually do such a real character.
Last question, since I prepared questions myself too. Over there. And Psick University, there are many types of content on YouTube. How do you plan such for various types of content? How do you engage in meetings? And how did you start those content? So what was the coincidence you started talking about creating each type of content? So far, I talked about many different reasons for creating our content. Class of 2005 Izback was inspired by our personal experiences or stories we heard from our acquaintances. And also Hansarang hiking club and class of 2005 were really popular because they were really new. Back then, the hidden camera content was really popular. So Office or Modern Family, they are American dramas. While watching those dramas, I was inspired to create a certain type of content. The ultimate reason why we create content is to just fun. Daily Korean, the title of the book we published, is also in line with that. For Koreans, we are teaching Koreans. So we thought it would be so much fun to publish a book on teaching Korean to Koreans. I don't want to have a formula for creating content or If you have a certain formula, we'll be trapped in certain criteria. So I want to be free and I want to continue to create creative content. Thank you for the applause.
질문에 준비한 게 거의 다 질문을 해주셨어요.
So all those questions you raised are overlapping with the questions that I prepared. So what was the key to securing so many subscribers? We didn't want to dwell on a certain generation of subscribers. By creating many different types of content, we were able to attract many different types of, many different generations of viewers. How do we identify and read the trend? So we are sensitively analyzing the current trend. So there was a parody of football star Son Heung-min because we were watching him closely. And also we watched a very popular people. And then based on that, we get an inspiration for our show. How do we plan each episode? It all depends on the person. What do we consider important when we create characters? Again, fun. So how do we collect the returns on the investment in creating content? So production cost is really low. And we also use a lot of parody. So we say that we try to be really amateur. We don't want to make our shows really professional. Ronnie and Steve. We created Ronnie and Steve too. So from the perspective of being an actor, I want to say this. We started out from one character. When I go to the gym, I see the trainers doing this. So they make this sound. So I didn't have a plan to utilize them as our show characters. I just thought of them. So they happen to be used in our show. So class of 2005 is back. So while filming it, is there any memorable episode? Some people think we are real people in the show. And when I see Youngju is walking on the street, some women were saying, "Oh, your husband is passing by." They refer to Youngju as one of their friends' husbands. So they really thought those characters were real people. What was really fun in creating content? What I do right now is really fun. Maybe you might think my first character, Lee Min-chul, is something that I'm most attached to, but I find the current Psick show is more interesting and I really enjoy that. So this is it for my session. So I don't have watch myself, so my time slot is over. Is it over? Yeah, I see it's over. Even at this moment, our teammates are discussing ideas to create content. So we have many different ideas. At the end of September, we are going to take vacations. So after we come back from vacation, we are going to show many different types of fun contents by the end of this year. Please enjoy our show. Thank you for your support. Thanks. Wow. For the past 40 minutes, we truly enjoyed his lecture. So based on his experiences, he shared the tips of creating content. It was really informative and inspirational speech. So he wanted to just create fun content. That's why he was able to create such successful content. Once again, please give him a big round of applause. With this, we will conclude Passion, 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 Psick University Content Creator Session. Thank you very much for staying here with us. This was Cho Jun-kyung, your MC for today. Thank you.